Now, schools across the country will reopen on January 4th, 2021, at a time when majority of learners would have spent a record 9 months at home following the indefinite closure of schools in March. This as the frosty relationship between the teachers' employer, TSC, and the Kenya National Union of Teachers continues. Tonight we speak to NAT Secretary General Wilson Sosion. You can be part of that discussion. The hashtag to use is TV47 News. Send us a message on 22047. Dennis Otieno is also on standby with the latest from the world of sports. Dennis, what do you have for us tonight?
Well, thank you, Abubakar. A lot is lined up for you in the world of sports. Now, sports ranging from Francis Kimanzi getting a new stint at Wazito FC as the head coach, as well as having doping regulations put in place to tackle the vice that a lot of athletes are participating in. This and more coming your way.
All right, Dennis Otieno will be bringing us up to speed with the latest from the fields. But first, these are the stories making headlines tonight. Tonight, Health CAS Dr. Mercy Mwangangi calls for adjustment in national modus operandi, saying COVID-19 could be with us even after November 2020. Also tonight, parents to be dogged by school fees relays in 2021 as school holidays are reduced to just 2 weeks after every term. And the County Assembly's forum leaders meet ODM leader Raila Odinga as lobbying for BBI intensifies. This ahead of signature collection launch. Ann Wairimu is our sign language interpreter. TV47 News Tonight with me, Abubakar Abdullahi, begins right now. Good evening and welcome to the broadcast. Now, the Ministry of Health now says that data from modeling teams shows that COVID-19 is here until such a time next year. Health CAS Dr. Mercy Mwangangi says Kenyans should plan adequately, as Zainab Mohammed now reports.
The Ministry of Health has announced a change in the COVID-19 modelling trajectories. The new model now indicating that the COVID-19 pandemic might be here longer than expected.
One of the newest things of information we've just received from our modelling teams is that this disease is here with us, particularly onto the same time this year, next year. According to the Health CAS Mercy Mwangangi, the new model now means that Kenyans will need to plan accordingly with the possibility of another pandemic year. Mwangangi warning that should the curve continue as is, the country might be in grave danger. So one of the things we need to remember as we put interventions in play is how do we ensure these services continue, knowing that we are going to be in crisis mode, at least for the next 1 year. Meanwhile, a total of 2,352 health workers have contracted COVID-19, with 30 others succumbing to the virus. Since Saturday, we've been in meetings with union members, trying to address all the issues that have been brought forth. There are some that we've been able to address, particularly those that deal with medical cover. Those ones have been addressed. We're looking at issues of promotions, looking at issues of statutory deductions. All those are things that we hope before the deadlines that we have, that we'll have clear forward solutions for that. Mwangangi was speaking during the commemoration of World Prematurity Day at Mama Lucy Hospital in Kayole. This even as the country today records 925 cases, 1,018 recoveries and 15 deaths. 2 months since the dawn of a second wave of COVID-19 infections in the country, the government now warns that Kenyans should brace themselves as the pandemic might just be here with us 1 more year. Zainab Mohammed, TV47, Nairobi.
The Ministry of Health will lose about 2 billion shillings if it sells the current stock of PPEs at the current market price. This is according to Health PS Susan Mochache, who was being grilled by the Public Investment Committee of the National Assembly. Mochache has also accused the suspended KEMSA boss for the misappropriation of public funds during the purchase of COVID-19 related equipment.
Appearing before the Public Investments Committee at the National Assembly, Health Principal Secretary Susan Mochache threw the former KEMSA boss Jonah Manjari under the bus. Mochache says the ministry approved purchases worth 758 million. Mochache told the Public Investments Committee that the ministry was not aware of the purchases, which went beyond 758 million shillings, distancing herself from the mess.
I then go further to tell him that you are therefore reminded to observe the authorities provided in procuring COVID-19 items unless otherwise advised. I also go on to tell them to note the concern of the Treasury that in future communications of this nature ought to go through the accounting officer in the Ministry of Health. So this is the letter I wrote to them, basically telling them that really we did not have money and they were out of line to have gone directly for 5 billion. And let me confirm that that money was not available. We did not have a budget of 5 billion to purchase COVID-related items.
The PS said that she learned the extra purchases after suspended KEMSA CEO Jonah Manjari bypassed her office and requested for extra 5.1 billion shillings from the National Treasury.
KEMSA spent up to 7 billion procuring COVID-related items. They then wrote to the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Health, which is in accordance to the law, to seek for the Cabinet Secretary to allow them to sell the commodities that they were holding at the prevailing market price. And by selling at the prevailing market price, it means that we are basically going to have to absorb a loss of about 2 billion shillings.
Members of Parliament raised queries in the incoherent procurement procedure within KEMSA.
When the management came, they are still receiving goods, where the advisory is so clear that they should cancel all these commitment letters. They only cancelled one large one, because probably, but then even the other small ones collectively, they did not bother to cancel.
You get a list. 1 week after the other, you get a readjusted one. Did it bring to your attention the fact that there is a problem of procurement? How it was humanly possible that within 1 week, these things could be readjusted if they were subject to procurement?
With the board doing the day-to-day oversight, are we in a position to say that the board is effective, or there is something wrong with our board and we really need to look at it for our future continuation?
Members of Parliament have also accused the national government of what they termed as neglecting Kenyans in the COVID-19 pandemic.
It is the responsibility of this House, the Senate, and the Health Committee. If the Health Committee is unable, Dr. Abdullahi is here, Vice Chair. Mr. Speaker, we revive the committee that we had, the ad hoc committee.
And to our governors to seriously consider that whatever investments we make, we don't just invest in buildings, but we invest in solutions for the health of our people.
Imagine people actually losing lives because of lack of oxygen. I mean, it's unacceptable. There is even UHC that was launched the other day by the president. Imagine, what is the cost of an oxygen? It's actually nothing compared to the budget that goes to the county governments.
With pressure being mounted on the anti-graft agencies on KEMSA scandal, nothing much to write home. President Uhuru Kenyatta had already given an ultimatum on the matter with little or no success. Elizabeth Mutuku, TV47 Nairobi.
Elsewhere, opposition chief Raila Odinga has said that the BBI process will officially kick off on Thursday after the launch of the collection of 1 million signatures required to push the BBI referendum. This comes after the ODM party leader met the County Assembly's forum leadership in Nairobi in their attempt to lobby for further ward-oriented changes in the BBI report. But as David Mudoka now reports, Raila has insisted that the BBI timetable does not leave room for further changes.
The BBI referendum train will officially take off on Thursday after the launch of the collection of 1 million signatures required to ignite the push for a constitutional referendum. The launch that will be led by President Uhuru Kenyatta and opposition chief Raila Odinga is set to set in motion a weeks-long signatures collection exercise.
There will be some leaders who will also sign that day. Thereafter, the copies are going to be sent to all counties and to constituencies and to wards. And we want this signature collection to be done as quickly as possible.
This comes after the ODM party leader on Tuesday hosted members of the County Assemblies Forum who are calling for the amendment of some of the BBI proposals. Among the recommendations by the forum is the increment of the Ward Development Fund from 5% as proposed in the BBI report to 30%. But Odinga has maintained that the BBI timetable does not allow for further changes.
Issue of the Ward Fund, first, the Ward Fund has now been created in the Constitution. So it is work in progress. Some at other date it will be reviewed. But we have actually stated to them that it is not possible to revise it at this moment in time.
This as the former Prime Minister refuted claims that the BBI recommendations are self-serving, challenging those opposing the report to a referendum duel.
If you disagree with it, let us meet in the field. So, sema yako, tuseme yetu, tuonane.
Meanwhile, Gatundu South MP Moses Kuria still insists that the BBI report requires another series of fine-tuning before the signatures collection exercise.
Hata hatutaki muda mrefu. Hata kama ni wiki mbili tukae chini, vile vipengele ambavyo watu wa kanisa wamesema, magavana, ma-MCA, wabunge, sio mambo mingi.
On the other hand, Gatanga MP Joseph Nduati, who had accompanied Kuria at a burial in Gatanga, has urged Kenyans to shun from relying on politicians' interpretation of the BBI report.
Ile tunasema kama wananchi, Moses Kuria pingi, mimi sipingi, wananchi wapatiwe nafasi wasome. Na mimi ningependa niulize mwananchi wote achukue kopi asome. Na sikubali kusomewa na mwanasiasa.
David Muthoka, TV47 Nairobi.
Elsewhere, teenage pregnancies continue to leave a bad taste in the mouth of parents across the country and more so in Taita Taveta County. Fears are rife that hundreds of girls could be impregnated even as schools are set to reopen.
The number of teenage pregnancies among school-going girls in Taita Taveta County is on the rise just a few months to school opening.
Mimba za mapema, watoto kuozwa mapema, pia incest imeongezeka sana, na ukiangalia hili limekuwa ni tatizo kubwa katika hii kaunti yetu.
Wazazi ambao hawajukumiki kuangalia jinsi gani watoto wanakaa katika manyumba kwa sasa, imetuma watoto wengine kwenda kujitafutia chakula nje. Kuna watoto ambao wamekuwa wazazi kwa watoto wenzao. Kuna watoto ambao mtu hata anatungisha mimba naendo anapiga simu kusema njoni muangalie kuna watoto mali fulani ambao wamezalishwa.
A family from Makinon village is demanding justice for their daughter who was impregnated by a man who later took off, never to be seen again.
Mimi naomba serikali achukue hatua ili mtoto wangu apate haki yake, na ninashukuru sana hiyo Morris apatikane.
Lakini tunamuomba serikali aendelee kuchukua kufuatilia kesi hiyo, kwa sababu mtoto huyo madhila aliyopitia ni nyingi.
The girl, albeit heavily pregnant, is still willing to continue with her studies.
Naomba kusaidiwa tu. Shule zikifunguliwa naomba tukurudi shuleni kwenda kuendelea na masomo.
This is among of the many cases of early pregnancies reported in Taita Taveta as the government announces school reopening next year. Nicholas Ndiga, TV47 Makina.
Well, you're watching TV47, the county's television, your channel of choice, the home of untold stories. Keep talking to us. The hashtag to use is TV47 News. Time for us to take a short break. We'll be back with more after this break. Stay tuned.
Life is a journey, and we all have ups and downs, highs and lows, and celebrities are no exception.
Do you know I couldn't pay rent? Do you know there's a time I went 3 days without food? If you read my book, I ate Colgate for dinner.
On Coffee with Movie, we get up close and personal.
Nilizaliwa hivyo. Yes. Mimi sijawahi ona.
We have candid conversations that are inspiring.
Na acha nikwambie, mtu mmebarikiwa na mlikuwa nyote mko kwa line, mko kwa foleni. Huyu akibarikiwa si ametoka, bado foleni inasonga. Wewe ni next.
Humorous.
This is going to be the craziest interview ever.
And life-changing.
Success is value system and the legacy you leave.
Coffee with Movie, every Sunday at 8 p.m. only on TV47. Every muscle, every bone is our concern.
A lot of pressure with both your hands, you're going to collapse the infant's chest.
Any pain.
There you go. You can calm down, calm down, calm down.
Any discomfort. We have just the right doctor.
I'm a consultant breast surgeon.
I'm an emergency care specialist.
A chiropractor.
With just the right remedy.
Majority of patients will actually just require supportive treatment.
Join us on Body Garage every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. because we care. How do you like your meals? Sweet and tasty or spicy and savory? On the Throwdown, we bring you our chef of the day. Gives you ideas on how to make amazing meals from the comfort of your home. Every Sunday from 6:30 p.m. Life is a journey, and we all have ups and downs, highs and lows, and celebrities are no exception.
Do you know I couldn't pay rent? Do you know there's a time I went 3 days without food? If you read my book, I ate Colgate for dinner.
On Coffee with Movie, we get up close and personal.
Nilizaliwa hivyo. Yes. Mimi sijawahi ona.
We have candid conversations that are inspiring.
Na acha nikwambie, mtu mmebarikiwa na mlikuwa nyote mko kwa line, mko kwa foleni. Huyu akibarikiwa si ametoka, bado foleni inasonga. Wewe ni next.
Humorous.
This is going to be the craziest interview ever.
And life-changing.
Success is value system and the legacy you leave.
Coffee with Movie, every Sunday at 8 p.m. only on TV47. Every muscle, every bone is our concern.
A lot of pressure with both your hands, you're going to collapse the infant's chest.
Any pain.
There you go. You can calm down, calm down, calm down.
Any discomfort. We have just the right doctor.
I'm a consultant breast surgeon.
I'm an emergency care specialist.
A chiropractor.
With just the right remedy.
Majority of patients will actually just require supportive treatment.
Join us on Body Garage every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. because we care. How do you like your meals? Sweet and tasty or spicy and savory? On the Throwdown, we bring you our chef of the day. Gives you ideas on how to make amazing meals from the comfort of your home. Every Sunday from 6:30 p.m.
Welcome back to TV47 News Tonight with me, Abu Bakar Abdullahi. Thank you for staying with us. Let's get to more news now. And the Ministry of Labour and Social Protection has condemned the alleged stealing and sale of babies in Nairobi based on an investigative report done by BBC Africa Eye. CS Simon Chelugui says that the government will take legal actions against anyone getting involved in this illegal act. Wamweru Maina reports.
Child trafficking in Kenya is a criminal offense punishable by law, but many inhumane individuals have managed to beat the law and steal other people's children and eventually sell them off. According to Labour and Social Protection CS Simon Chelugui, the government has started investigating cases pointed out in the child trafficking investigation report covered by BBC Africa Eye.
We have approached this matter through a multi-agency approach, and we have mobilized all the agencies of government to support our Ministry of Labour and Social Protection in getting deeper into this issue. And so all the agencies are involved, and we have just begun preliminary investigation, and we just don't want to treat this superficially. We want to go deeper and establish even the cause, and if there are any networks, if there are any parties involved, if it is there are cartels or involvement of other people, we will get to the bottom of it.
The investigation clearly exposes how children are stolen in Nairobi and sold between 45,000 Kenyan shillings and 300,000 Kenyan shillings. In the report, a group of women steal children from the street mothers or from the public hospitals and sell them to other women. The government has condemned this act, saying they take full responsibility of Children Act, promising to take legal action to anyone who breaks the law. Chelugui has urged Kenyans to report such cases to the nearby police stations or call the helpline 116. Wamweru Maina, TV47.
Elsewhere, the national government will spend 777 million shillings in the construction of the Mangu Bob Harris Road. The 15-kilometer stretch will connect Gatundu North and Juja constituencies. The construction of the project that started 3 months ago is also expected to stimulate investment and promote trade through improved access to markets. Lynette Gidwa with these and more stories from the counties.
Smooth ride at last. Residents of Gatundu North stand to benefit from a facelift on the Mangu Bob Harris Road.
Hata ile nauli tulikuwa nalipa kama kutoka hapa kwenda Kiauri kama ulikuwa nalipa 100, sasa utakuwa nalipa kama shilingi 50, 40 bob ama 50 bob. Manake hata wakati hii barabara ya Nairobi ilikuwa inatengenezwa, watu walikuwa nafikiri watakuwa nalipishwa 200. Sasa hii hakuna mahali ingine kwenda kunakuwa rahisi kama kwenda Nairobi.
The road that for decades remained dilapidated served as fodder for politicians wooing voters to their court. The government also seeks to complete a 50-kilometer stretch through the Mau Mau project, which is set to be complete in 2022.
Barabara tuko nayo ni moja tu ambayo imetoka Thika imeelekea upande wa flyover, lakini vile sasa tunaendelea, tuko na hii barabara ya Gatukoyo Kairi Matara, isipokuwa contractor amekuwa akifanya kazi duni sana, na hiyo maneno tunaangalia, na tunatarajia barabara zingine especially Githofokoni ward over 50 kilometers of tarmac ambazo tunapewa, na kwa jumla likijumuisha zile barabara ambazo ama rami tushawaipa tumepata kwa wakati huu, ambazo zingine zimeanza, zingine zitakuwa zinaanza kwa mwezi moja unakuja, utapata tumepata zaidi ya 100 kilometers of tarmac.
Elsewhere, distraught farmers in Migori County are crying foul. The farmers stormed the British American tobacco offices in what they termed as sheer negligence and harassment by the company.
Lilima na BAT 2019-2020. Ikifika hii 2020-2021 wakatunyang'anya contract. Wakasema sisi si wasijia tu kwa wakulima ama ile tulileta si haikuwa tobacco. Contract yenye tulisaini hiyo 2019-2020 ilikuwa inasema bonus zetu tunalipwa. ambapo bonus ya 2020 na 2021 ndio hatutalipo sababu hatukuwa na contract na wao. Tunauliza pesa zetu zimeenda wapi? Tobacco tuliuza, walinunua.
For months, the workers have not received their monies. They claim that the Credit Cooperative Society formed to benefit them has turned to be a leech, sucking them dry, with no show for their hard work. The company, however, dismissed their claims, terming them as outrageous. And in Nandi County, simmering differences between management of two public institutions threatening the security of learners. Kapsabet School for the Deaf raised uproar after the Kapsabet Youth Polytechnic oversaw the demolition of a section of their fence. This was to pave way for construction of another gate to serve students of Kapsabet Youth Polytechnic.
This land belongs to Kapsabet School for the Deaf Primary. That's the title deed it reads, Kapsabet School for the Deaf Primary. So if there is any gate that has been to be put by the Kapsabet Youth Polytechnic, they should have consulted us. But they just come one morning, they just put down the fence together with these rambles you can see here. This was a toilet, they have brought it down. And now they have made our children who are already vulnerable to be vulnerable.
They are now calling for the government's intervention in settling the matter. Inet Gidua, TV47.
Well, from the counties, let's get to Rwanda, where all teachers in Rwanda will get a placement by the end of the financial year. Rwandan Education Minister revealed this as he updated on the state of education sector in keeping with the COVID-19. Our reporter Diana Iriza reports from Kigali, Rwanda.
The Minister of Education, Valentine Uwamaria, made the disclosure on Monday, November 16th, during a press conference on teachers' placement. The minister also used the press conference to provide an update on the school reopening amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. In 2019, there were 3,401 nursery schools in Rwanda, of which 508 were public, 1,555 government-aided schools, and 1,338 private ones, according to figures from the 2019 Education Statistical Yearbook by the Ministry of Education. There were over 282,400 pupils in nursery schools in 2019, including over 41,600 in public. The Minister of Education said that 107 teachers have already been placed, while the remaining ones are expected to be placed by the end of the financial year. However, the ministry officials did not immediately provide the budget implications of this move. The move comes after members of parliament have on multiple occasions expressed concern over teachers in nursery schools who are not yet on government payroll. MPs say that the lack of permanent teachers was likely to impair the quality of pre-primary education in situations where parents cannot afford costly private schools.
You're watching TV47 News Tonight with me, Abu Bakar Abdullahi. Time for us to take another short break. We'll be back with more. Don't go too far.
Life is a journey, and we all have ups and downs, highs and lows, and celebrities are no exception.
Do you know I couldn't pay rent? Do you know there's a time I went 3 days without food? If you read my book, I ate Colgate for dinner.
On Coffee with Movie, we get up close and personal.
Nilizaliwa hivyo. Yes. Mimi sijawahi ona.
We have candid conversations that are inspiring.
Na acha nikwambie, mtu mmebarikiwa na mlikuwa nyote mko kwa line, mko kwa foleni. Huyu akibarikiwa sio ametoka, bado foleni inasonga. Wewe ni next.
Humorous.
This is going to be the craziest interview ever.
And life-changing.
Success is value system and the legacy you leave.
Coffee with Movie, every Sunday at 8 p.m. only on TV47.
Every muscle, every bone is our concern.
A lot of pressure with both your hands, you're going to collapse the infant's chest.
Any pain.
There you go. You can calm down, calm down, calm down.
Any discomfort. We have just the right doctor.
I'm a consultant breast surgeon.
I'm an emergency care specialist.
I'm a chiropractor.
With just the right remedy.
Majority of patients will actually just require supportive treatment.
Join us on Body Garage every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. because we care. How do you like your meals? Sweet and tasty or spicy and savory? On the Throwdown, we bring you our chef of the day, who gives you ideas on how to make amazing meals from the comfort of your home. Every Sunday from 6:30 p.m.
Welcome back. Now, residents of Mumoni and Cusop sub-counties in Kitui are for the first time since independence accessing mobile network services following the Commission of Network Connectivity in the sub-counties by the Senate Committee on ICT and Communications Authority of Kenya. The connectivity is set to boost communication, businesses and security in the area. David Mudoka has the details.
It is a new dawn for residents of Mumoni, Thagishu and Chuso sub-counties in Kitui County following the commissioning of network connectivity in the three sub-counties by the Senate Committee on ICT in conjunction with the Communication Authority of Kenya.
Hello.
The connectivity comes for the first time since independence and is seen as a reprieve to communication, business and security in the three areas that have for decades been isolated network-wise.
Kuna watoto walikuwa wakisoma kupitia kwa simu. Hii mambo ya mtandao. Na wakati ule ambao tulikuwa na network, hakuna masomo yalikuwa yanaendelea kwenye hii area. Lakini wakati ulipata hii network, watoto wanasoma vizuri sana. Ukiwa na simu yako, unaenda kwa YouTube, unafungua na watoto wako wanasoma kabisa.
Unaweza piga simu na kufanya vitu kama kutext hizo. Kama kuna kitu emergency imetokea, unaweza pigia mtu fulani kumsaidiane.
Speaking at Nguku Market during the launch of the network connectivity, Isiolo Senator Fatuma Dulo, who is a member of the Senate ICT Committee, said that residents should brace for an economical transformation in the three areas.
Lakini tungependa sasa waanze kufikiria zaidi
rights ya watu na ile profit wanapata sasa, wasiende tu mahali iko na italete pesa, waende hata kwa villages zile ambaye haileti pesa.
On the other hand, Communication Authority of Kenya Chief Executive Officer Mercy Wanjau has revealed that more areas in Kenya which are still not connected to mobile network will be connected before 2022 in order to facilitate communication countrywide. David Muthoka, TV47.
Well, for the first time since independence, the residents of those sub-counties are accessing mobile services. Time for us to get to the world of sports, and who best to do this than Dennis Otieno, who joins us on the broadcast now. Dennis.
Well, thank you very much, Abubakar Abdullahi. Like I said, a lot is lined up for you in the world of sports, ranging from Francis Kimanzi getting appointed as the head coach, as well as doping measures used to tackle the culprits in the sport. This and more coming your way soon.
Sports, brought to you by 555bet.
A very warm welcome to Primetime Sports. My name is Dennis Otieno, and we shall start off with local news. Now, Kenya Premier League side Wazito FC have appointed immediate former Harambee Stars head coach Francis Kimanzi as the head coach on a 4-year deal. Kimanzi, who was relieved of his national team duties 4 weeks ago, will be deputized by former Posta Rangers and Thika United coach John Kamau. The duo is set for unveiling on Thursday and fills positions left vacant after the firing of Fred Ambani and his assistant Salim Babu on November 9th. Now moving on to rather sad news, where 4-time Kenya Open Bisley Championship winner Edward Lengay passed on aged 56. Legs, as he was fondly known, met his death on Monday at the Karen Hospital. Doctors attributing his demise to COVID-19 complication. Stephen Kiprop reports.
The Kenya Shooting Range Sports Fraternity is mourning the death of 4-time Kenya Open Bisley Championship Edward Legay, who passed on Monday evening after being admitted to Karen Hospital on Friday. Sources close to Legay's family indicate that the 56-year-old veteran had developed chest complication and drove himself to the hospital from their residence in Kiserian. Upon arrival, doctors confirmed Legay was COVID-19 positive. Legay, who was serving with the Kenya Police Service and formerly the Presidential Escort Unit, once represented Kenya at the United Kingdom Bisley and 2002 Manchester Commonwealth Games. Legay also won the Kenya Open Bisley in 2001, 2002, 2008 and 2013. Legay attained the rank of Kenya Regiment Football Captain in 2007 and in 2011 moved to Kitui as the Sub-County Deputy Commander under the Kenya National Police Service. Legay, commonly known as Legs within the shooting fraternity, was then recently transferred to Nairobi as the officer in charge in South Sea. Friends and family of Legay continue to express their condolences, led by Kenya football captain Sanford Otundo, who says Legay demise is shocking, having deprived